Welcome back to our video series, What's the Story? My name is Tommy Heffernan, veterinary consultant with Precision Microbes. Today we're going to meet another customer, Kevin O Hanlon. He's managing a dairy farm here in County Wexford, and there's a reason I'm standing and getting my fingers dirty. He's an interest in soil health, regenerative agriculture, a really interesting guy with some very interesting perspectives, right all the way down to soil health. Join us for video 2 of the series of What's the Story. Let's go meet Kevin O Hanlon. We'll start. You are who you are.
Yeah,
I'm
who
here
you are,
with Kevin
exactly.
O Hanlon. Kevin, thank you very much. This is our second episode in What's the Story. I know better man to tell a story. I've met you before than Kevin O Hanlon. Maybe you'll tell people who you are yourself.
Yeah, so my name is Kevin O Hanlon. I'm from South Carlow, a place called St. Mullins. I live there with my wife, me 4 kids and my uncle. I'm working here on this farm, managing it for the last, what year are we? 2014? No, 24. Sorry,
You've lost a decade.
Yeah, I've lost a decade. Jeez, it feels like it at times. So I'm here 16 years, started here in 08. So I'm here 16 years. Before that, I worked on other farms. I did greenkeeping, I did cooking for a while, chefing. I was a plaster labour, roofer labour.
You've done it all, so the experience. You know, when I meet people, and I met you before, and you were telling me the story that you were chefing for a while and you were doing all the other jobs. Now you're very much embraced into farming, and we'll talk about regenerative agriculture later on and where your mindset is there. But I suppose all those experiences are very valuable when you're doing anything. And then, because farming is multifactorial, isn't it?
It is. I'd check the tractor for oil, check it for water. That's about it with a machine now.
Okay.
Same with electricity. Press the switch. If it doesn't work, you ring someone.
Okay.
That end of it.
But you like the biology, don't you? You like the cows and you like the growing.
Yeah, exactly. I like animals just in general. Animals just in general. I like animals. And I suppose all the different jobs have stood me over the years, different things. I suppose you learn a lot with the greenkeeping from different weeds and stuff.
Okay.
From the greenkeeping part of it. Chefing part, I suppose the wife benefits most from that because I cook at home.
Okay. You do the dinners?
I know I do lots of dinners, yeah.
Good man.
I do a lot of dinners.
There should be no difference, I know now.
She does as well. She's well into it. I specify that.
Okay.
She does them as well. I don't do them all. Making her out to be lazy, she's not. But there's, I suppose that stood to be the plastering and roofing part. I was only a labourer, so I don't know what that stood to me. I had an operation on my back in 2016 to get most of a disc taken out. I think it was as a result from that years ago. I just went up the ladder with 40 slates in your shoulder.
Wear and tear.
Just wear and tear, yeah. Just wear and tear.
Since you become involved in farming, I know you've yo's at home. A lot of people know you for TikTok. We might talk about that as well. But you've yo's at home. Very much the dairy herd here. Tell me a little bit. You're very enthusiastic. You're very positive about farming. You share the farming message. What is it about, I suppose, the farming and the cows that you're enjoying so much? Because, you know, it's a really important message. That what you're sharing is important, but I suppose I love meeting people who are enthusiastic about anything. Whether it's sweeping the road or IT or cows, doesn't matter. That attitude's infectious. What is it about the cows that I suppose, the farming that you really seem to enjoy?
I suppose the biggest part is that you can always progress.
Okay.
You can always, when you hit a goal, not you have much goals, or your goals can change as well. You don't have to go exactly for your goal, but it's, I suppose, you set new goals for yourself the whole time. You get the herd to a certain point, you can say, right, we got to this point, can we get to the next point? That kind of way. Like we have a crossbred herd here now. It's crossbred as in Fleckvieh and Norwegian Red and Holstein. But that's the goal, to get a third. Now you're never going to get that in the breeding, but in general. So that's the next goal, is to try and also keep the milk that we have. So your goals can change that way. The other thing is you're outside every day. Like even on shit days, you're outside. You're still outside. I couldn't imagine being sitting in an office behind with a pen in my hand. I'd have a million of them broke every day.
So you just like the whole outside.
Just being outside, just being outside.
Let's walk down here and have a look and talk a little bit about the cows and the farm here and actually the production. Let's get in amongst the cows and talk about the sexy metrics, as I call them, the key performance indicators here in the herd.
No, look, it's bent. Go away. I'll get in the big section. I went to get in the small one.
I won't be able to go in myself. Oh, Jesus.
It's definitely bent. Look, someone hit it with the load.
You keep telling yourself that.
I keep telling myself that.
All right. Okay. So we're in here, Kevin, in amongst the cows now. I suppose give people time perspectives. It's It's the middle of spring. It feels
middle
like
of winter.
the endless winter. Like
Yeah.
you know, it's been a really tough season. Cows should be out, shouldn't they, today?
Yeah, it should.
Just talk about the herd here. You mentioned the 3-way split on the breeding.
Yeah.
What's the production like? Tell people about the actual farming system, I suppose.
So we're organic. We're certified since May of 23.
Yeah.
We're certified organic, so we 2-year conversion before that.
Yeah.
We're reducing fertiliser since 2019. We were up to the limits. We were
When
high
you say up to the limits, what was that?
the 240, like we were high inputs, high output.
Okay.
That was the name of the game.
Okay.
And just wasn't enough money in it, point blank.
Okay.
There's a few lads employed here on farm, and my boss and her children were getting wages out as well, so there just wasn't enough there for everybody.
Okay.
We had looked at organics anyway, so I told her to give me a couple of years to try without fertiliser as such, win clover, win multi-species, try all the things before we actually signed the paper to say we're going organic, commit for the 5 years with the current scheme. And I suppose that prompted, we were a Holstein Friesian herd, small bit of Montbellier through, not we're talking about, there's only a couple of cows like, but it was mainly just Holstein Friesian cows. So the production that time was 9,000 litres a cow.
Okay, so heavy input system, 9,000 litres a cow.
Like
Milk
now-
solids kind of 550.
Oh no, 550, 600, like you're up around that.
Okay.
Milk solids don't really. We're a flat price now for the milk out of the gate.
Okay.
There's no fats, no payments for fats and proteins. Just once you're above the threshold.
Okay.
But yeah, we're 9,000 litres a cow. We're at about 6.5 now. But that extra 2.5, 3,000 litres was coming from South America.
Right.
It was coming from maize meal and soybean.
Okay.
That's where our extra production was coming out.
Okay.
So now we grow red clover. It's high protein crop. The cows have that. They have access to that nearly every day they're in the house.
What kind of protein levels are in that red clover?
You get to 21, 22, anywhere from 17 to 21, 22 along there.
Okay.
You'll get to. So it's, we have that. It's a good source of it. About 70% of the farm here is a multi-species. It grows for freaking sport.
Okay.
Just a bit of slurry.
Are you lucky with the land type? Or?
Oh God, yes.
Yeah.
Most definitely sandy loam, free drain land.
Okay.
Like we get 350 days of grass in 2023.
Okay.
We 350, so it's only allowed that's by day and it wasn't full time.
Okay.
But so we had 16 days, 365, no, 15 days, geez, my maths. We had 15 days that we were in full time. That was it.
Yeah. One thing about your production system is it kind of screams of the future potentially, and I think I won't, personally, I'm never telling farmers where they should be going and what you're doing. The legislation in their own minds will always drive them in that direction. You're doing your own thing here. If people listen to you, that's fine. You're not telling lads and waving the finger saying, I'm a great, we have a great system.
No.
You know, I know you're not. So
everyone's their own.
Each to their own,
Yeah.
and I think that's very important. But I think it is really interesting when you look at everyone's shouting about the S word. We've used in the second series now, the second video, we're talking about sustainability. Very much, you've driven down fertilizers.
Yeah.
You've really driven down inputs.
Yeah.
So you're very much doing it.
We're nearly self-sufficient. The only thing we can't get enough grain to be self-sufficient.
Okay.
We haven't got the land, enough of land to do that.
Okay.
So that's nearly the only, pretty much all silage, all whole crops. We grow fodder beet, organic fodder beet, fairly successfully.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's and that's all that's grown without fertilizers or any inputs that way. Everything. The one thing we buy in is a lot of straw because it's cheap P and K coming in the gate.
Okay.
It's very cheap P and K, and then we like to compost anyway for soil health. Excuse me.
Yeah.
For soil health and stuff. So yeah, we just I don't quite make compost, but it's a long way along the way. Put it that way.
Okay. So if I look at it then in your system, what are the big things? Probably nothing keeps you up at night anyway, right? But
No.
what are the challenges you see for your current system? The weather is probably one that covers everybody at the moment.
Yeah.
What are the things you see, or maybe you'd like to see changing around the organic system that you're currently in? Or are you kind of totally happy with the way it is? What would you like to see done, or the direction from this farm? Forget about everybody else. You're doing your own thing.
I suppose. From ourselves, we're kind of on the road to where we want to go to. I'd say it that way.
Okay.
It's like, as I said, the herd is getting more crossbred. So here's your Fleckvieh, there's your Norwegian red,
Yeah.
the big red one standing up. So this lady's British Friesian. She's very British Friesian-y.
Yeah.
But likes the Holstein here.
Yeah.
So she gets a Fleckvieh.
Okay.
Her daughter, so say this one is her daughter, just for instance,
Yeah.
she will get a Norwegian Red. The Norwegian Red down here will get a Holstein back again.
Okay.
Now, she's only a first crossover of a Holstein. So when I go into look at the breedings of the cow on paper, so it's over 50%. If she's over 50% Holstein, she gets a Fleckvi. She's over 50% Fleckvi, she gets a Norwegian Red. And she's over 50% Norwegian Red, she gets a Holstein. So you're trying to get that three-way cross for higher breed.
It is hybrid vigor.
Hybrid vigor.
Okay. So if I look at and I have to say, I think the national breeding has been very successful at a national level.
Yeah.
You're doing your own sort of thing here in relation to the cows to a degree. Would I be right in saying that?
We are. Because we went to EBI for a while, and it happened one day out the barrier out here. There happened to be about maybe five cows of 1 year after the other down, and they were literally doing that.
Okay.
We can carry a big cow.
Okay.
Farmers dry. We can carry big cows.
So you made your own decision.
So we make our own decision that we get each of the bull calves leaving here is 250 a head.
Okay.
So like that's lads will say that doesn't come into it. It does come into it. And the cow leaving is 12 and 1300 euro, leaving the farm. So all that, and then they have a long productive life as well. They're not our replacements are getting lower every year.
What's your replacement rate at?
Oh, it's probably 20%, I'd say, the last couple of years. But like we have more than what we need this year again.
Okay.
And next year we need to.
So your cows aren't fall out of the system?
No. The biggest thing they fall out of the system for, because we're here around calving, is the worst thing ever. Because if this lady doesn't calve for 400 days or 450 days, it doesn't bother me to lay spit. Like 23, 24, wherever she's Norwegian Red, she was in milk for a flipping 400 and I think 80 something days.
Yeah, okay.
But she was on 15 litres there, dried her off.
Okay.
She was still baiting away.
Okay.
So if you're milking year round, it doesn't particularly matter when they calve. Like I know lads in the spring calving system have to have their block because they're set up to do that for their system.
Okay.
But when you're milking year round, it doesn't.
You mentioned calves there. Let's go down and have a look at calves. And I also want to get a shovel out and I want you to get digging. Because I think your story around how you've developed the knowledge and learning around soil, and I think even with the cows and the breeding, it's all self-taught, isn't it? This is
YouTube.
Yeah.
YouTube is a great place.
I don't disagree. I learn a lot of things on YouTube.
Farmers, funny.
That's
Farmers generally don't have spades, you see.
Yeah.
Farmers generally just have shovels of some description.
So it is a very dry farm anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It will be very dry.
Like all the solar panels and all that stuff, that's all.
Oh, it's all part of the whole thing. Go that way.
It is what it is, we said there. It's not ideal filming conditions. We're trying to get in out of the wind here, but I want to talk to you about soil. And we're out here in the field. Happens to be a mixed species sward, you said 70% of the farm. People will think it's all mixed species. We're doing it in the last video as well. Okay, first of all, before we get into soil health, how did you get into soil health? You know, you mentioned earlier on the different jobs you were doing. You became, you're managing the farm here, but you have a big interest. Well, is it regenerative agriculture? Is it soil biology? Is it soil health?
Bit of all.
Bit of it all.
Yeah.
Again, you don't define it. I love there's I think the fancy word, there's a fluidity to your attitude.
Yeah. To a lot of things in life.
Yeah. But tell me about how you got interested in soil biology before we start digging holes.
I suppose the first thing was I came across NOTS, National Organic Training Skill Net.
Okay.
I don't know where, I presume I came across them on Twitter or somewhere.
Yeah.
And just happened to see one of their posts or something, or someone reposted it. And that kind of got me, went into the website, and then I seen there were soil courses and all that. And I went down the rabbit hole nearly in Australia at this stage.
Is it true, Kevin, when you lift the lid on the biology of the soil, and I've done it as a vet, it's very hard to put it back down, isn't it?
It is, because I won't say obsession, but it's
is it because it makes sense?
The light bulb goes off.
Yeah.
That it's not what's on top, it's what's underneath that's driving what's on top, and especially in an organic system. Like the docks, there's docks here. As I said to you, I was taking Mick a minute ago about keeping them off camera, but there's docks. I have fields of docks above. If you want to go up and look at them, there's no issue.
Yeah.
But docks are there for a reason. I don't view dock as a weed as such anymore. Dock is there because there's compaction.
Okay.
That's the reason the dock is there. The dock has come to break that compaction.
Okay.
Mother Nature has said the dock something needs to break the compaction here. Instead of us coming in with whatever you call them, yokes behind the tractor.
Yeah. So the first farmer ever to give the dock. Well, I don't want
the whole farm. Hold on now. I don't want the whole farm.
Okay, so would you read books on it now? Let's talk about soil health. Let's actually, you have your shovel. Let's when we think about soil biology, as farmers, what are we thinking about? When you lift up the soil, and you made a great point, we're not actually talking about we spend a lot of time actually talking about what's above the ground before you take my fingers off of the shovel there. But what's underneath is so important, isn't it?
Yeah, it's what's underneath that's going to drive what's on top. So you're looking for, the roots are getting right down.
Yeah.
You're looking for worms, which I'm at the cutting in half there.
Yeah.
But
that was a worm sacrifice for the film. But
for the film.
Yeah. No, this worm is in a bit of a knot actually. Look at that. Look.
Oh yeah.
That's an unusual one. Anyway, the worm, you didn't kill it. It wrapped itself up in a little knot. So worms root. Talk to me about healthy soil. I'm a farmer and I want to dig up soil. What do I want to look for?
That aggregation.
Okay.
So you're looking for your little lumps. Your worm casts on top of the ground is a great indicator. Now, it might be as much activity this time of year because it's so cold and it's so wet and stuff. Might be quite as much activity. Excuse me. But you're looking for aggregation. You're looking for that crumbly soil. So what that does, if I dug this up, we say there's all these spaces in through the soil. So soil obviously needs air to function. All the bacteria and microbes and everything need air. So it's like they can last for a long time underwater. So you see lads talking about their soil is frigged because it's waterlogged. Was not. They will survive a long time without oxygen.
Okay.
So it's it's more so you're looking for the aggregation. You're looking for if you have good aggregation. So if you get a drought, you'll have little tiny molecules of water within the soil profile, and the roots will have access to them.
And that's all important for the root function and plant health.
Yes, exactly. So
you're building a resilience into the soil then, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly. That's what you're trying to do. And then at the other side of that, with better aggregation, you have more drainage.
Okay.
So it will actually half the excess water, but will hold enough to proper function. The soil won't need. It can withstand a good bit of drought and it can withstand a lot of rain.
As our climate is changing now, and it's such an unseasonal bloody weather, and it's probably the way forward. Not the way forward. It's the way it's going to be potentially. Yeah. Have you seen yourself here in what has been a disastrously wet spring? Better. The fields are able to manage that water better.
Yeah, like we're the 4th, 5th of April, and we've about 60% of the farm here grazed.
Okay.
So we're grand as regards other farmers.
Yeah. Some guys
in relation to other
people
farmers.
under real pressure. Yeah.
Oh, lads haven't been out yet, and there's fields of grass here, just can't get to them.
I'm just looking at all the worm counts here, and there's the worm that was sacrificed for the yeah. But if you think about the worm as an indicator species, it's like a pyramid, isn't it? When we think, I like the microbes. Both of us have shown our age here and barely get up. Yeah. But when you think about microbiology in the soil, it's all the stuff we can see as well, Kevin, isn't it? Right up, the worm is like an indicator species. It's halfway up the pyramid.
Yeah.
The grass is the part of it, the cows, and at the very top of this soil pyramid, it's probably us, isn't it?
Probably will be us, I presume.
We're consuming.
Yeah, what's going off.
Yeah,
because the cows are bringing and what sheep, whatever other animals are grazing it.
Yeah.
But if you have the healthy soil, healthy food, healthy people.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. If you have healthy soil, if you're not putting anything into the soil as such. Now, I'm not condoning anybody that's doing whatever they're doing. As I said,
I love that.
Everyone's their own. Like we have our own lamb at home. We don't butcher at home now. We bring it to an abattoir, but we butcher our own lamb. And like anybody we give it to, we sell our own lamb to restaurants and hotels and stuff as well. Yeah. And we've no issue. They want more and more. Yeah. Because it's complete different taste. There's no meal. It's completely off multi-species. There's no meal involved at home at all.
Okay.
Everything's outdoors. But it's the same kind of thing. It's back to the soil. The soil at home is changing as well.
Okay.
So
for farmers who are interested in soil health, okay, I say to people in the next 10 years in farming certainly, it'll be about soil health and mindset. We're in the period of change and everything comes from the soil up. Where do the farmers start with their interest? What book should they pick up? What should they do?
Now, I'm not an ambassador for them or anything, but I go to the National Organics Training Skill Net first. Yeah. Nuts. They run loads of courses. They're absolutely fantastic, in fairness to them. We've Gabe Brown coming here in July.
Okay.
Wrong on that. I think it's July. Gabe Brown is coming here again. He was here last year, so he's a very big regenerative farmer in America. He has built like 5% organic matter on his farm every year, and over the last couple of years, it's huge percentages of stuff. And it's the soil organic matter that's what's going to keep keeps the soil. Yes, it's what keeps the soil healthy, keeps the soil. And as I said, inside, like this got done back in whenever the open day was, January. This got done right after that. This got done, but there's no sign of this happening grazed since, like.
Okay.
And it's because it didn't get done. It got compost / dung. We call it. It's not quite compost. I don't go the whole way to compost, because the worms want fibre. They want the straw. So you kind of let it go 3/4 to 7/8 of the way even, and then you go out and spread that on the field. But it's food for the biology. That's what it is. You're feeding the biology in the soil.
And everything comes from that.
Everything comes from that. Like you have a symbiotic relationship between everything as plants as well. So there's certain bacteria in certain plants, certain minerals that certain plants they'll trade them over and back, different things that way.
Yeah, and with our role in precision microbes, we've a fascination with working with nature, and it is that biology. And I think, look, it's not about ramming anything down people's throats. It's about questions and ideas, and just this idea. Chemistry's brought us a long way, and we still need chemistry, you know. But we've got to start recognising the role potentially of biology in farms in the future as well.
It's not even potential. It is the role.
Yeah.
It's not the potential role. It is the role.
The role of biology.
Yeah.
So Kevin, we're just walking back to the yard, and we're just stopping here. There's dung beetles all over the place here. I know you probably mightn't pick them up in the camera because they're quite small, Mike. You said they're not active at this time of year, probably because is it the cold weather, or what is it?
It's probably just wet, I'd say. They need a bit more heat, usually. But yeah, it's kind of slightly cold for them. It'd be just slightly cold for them.
But if you look, they're here. Like there's worms everywhere here. This is it's like a worm farm. I don't know if you can get that mic on the camera. This is like, look at the worms here. Like it's just worm after worm, and he's not killing them like he was before. He's doing a better job with the shovel. Yeah. But the dung beetles again. It's all active biology, Kevin. Yeah. Just explain to me about the dung beetle. What's the dung beetle doing? Just while we.
So the dung beetle is coming up. Generally, the dung, as far as I know, the dung has to be about 5-6 days old before they'll go near it. I presume that's the acidity goes out a bit before they start going at it. But yeah, your dung beetles are pretty much coming up. They're taking their dung and they bring it down in the soil profile.
Okay.
So they're
recycling nutrients.
They're recycling nutrients back in. Same as the worms. Like anywhere you'll dig dung here, you'll get loads of worms. In general, you'll get.
Is that dung beetle activity here? Now, sorry to be cutting across you. Is that dung beetle activity, or is that just the grain and the feces?
No, that could be birds coming in and picking out a bit of grain, or it could be dung beetle.
That's Tommy just trying to dramatise the situation.
So you can see the whole crop, but they're after getting the nutrients out of it. The grain comes through because there's just such a volume of it, but the nutrients are going out of that.
It's amazing how shit becomes very interesting when you get into biology, isn't it?
It is, because it's where everything happens. Underneath shit is generally where a lot of biology is going on, and different things are happening.
I said we just stop there, Mike, and get a real farmer wipe the hands job with the grass, Kevin. We'll go in and finish up inside the yard. These are, just explain again, the deep rooting or the deep burrowing worm.
Yeah, so they're the ones that go down in the soil profile. Generally, these fellas, they're the ones that kind of stay on top. So your big, juicy fellas with the big rings down along, they're the ones that go up and down. So they'll bring down nutrients and make lots of air passages through your soil because they're big burrowing worms. And they will let roots get down a lot easier.
Okay, and speaking of roots, this is a chicory root.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're in a mixed species sward, and you talk about chicory, an extensive root. Well, obviously you've been doing your good job with the shovel there again, but an extensive root, and it's because the varying root lengths is breaking the soil up, it's bringing nutrients to and from that part of the soil, isn't it?
So it's bringing it up.
Just explain the root function in a multi-species, or when it comes to soil health. This is a very obvious root with the chicory. Just explain the function.
So with this, like this could be down here. We have chicory. This only sowed last year, this sward. So it's not an old sward. But they will stay going down. They'll stay growing like. But the idea is, I suppose, they go right down. You can see all the, not of them are gone off it, but there'll be a lot of micro roots off it as well. So they're going to be hitting the grass roots and hitting the plantain roots, hitting the clover roots. They're going to be touching all them. They will be crossing over minerals. So these are way down the profile. So the minerals that the clover and the grasses can't get to,
they're bringing them up.
And also they're bringing them up to the cows, because they're bringing them up into the leaf when they're bringing them up.
And that's something I would have seen as a vet over the last number of years. You know, the mineral profile changing on our cows and issues with minerals. And one of the reasons, of course, I'm not sowing them and I'm not doing the work, but I like mixed species swards, is because of the mineral profile that they bring to the animal from a health perspective. And it's because of this rooting system and this ability to share or to draw minerals up, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And then they can cross over. So you'll have your bacteria in your, we say like the the clover. The clover plant itself doesn't actually fix nitrogen.
Right.
It's the bacteria. It makes a home for the bacteria to fix the nitrogen. There's little nodules are home for bacteria.
Okay.
So when they're pink, obviously that's when the bacteria are in there and they're fixing nitrogen from the atmosphere.
Okay. So it's not the plant.
It's not the plant. It's the bacteria.
It's the microorganisms on it.
Yes, in that plant that's actually fixing the nitrogen. It's not the plant itself.
And when you say it, then is it, Kevin? Is it the microorganism on the leaf of the plant, externally on the plant that is fixing it? Then?
It is, bringing it down, and it's using the clover as a host. Well, clover is the host for that particular.
Drawing nitrogen down into the root.
And then it's dispersing it back out to your grass, your chicory, your plantain. And then in return, it gets back sugars for putting back out the nitrogen. It gets back sugar in a fairly short sugar that to get back in response to, as an exchange.
An exchange, a symbiosis, as they say.
Yeah, a symbiotic relationship, exactly. So there are a lot of the plants work that way together, and they'll exchange different things for one of them will do the other. Same with bacteria. Different bacteria need different things. And then that's a whole minefield.
And that's the, okay, we put the lid back down on biology. Both of us obviously like this biology piece. Both of us have knees of 70-year-olds, but now we're definitely going into the yard.
TikTok and that. I find like people that have absolutely nothing to do, like you'd have at times be calving a cow, you have the camera on, and be 9,000 people looking at you from all over the world.
It's amazing.
And
it's mad.
like most mornings you're here going around the yard, we're doing the feeding, have the telephone.
You've the live thing, have you?
Yeah, go live. Now I haven't been live in about 10 days because just so fucking busy.
Okay.
But most days you're live, and just going around feeding the cows in the morning. You have the phone and teleport and you're talking to people. People ask questions about what you're doing.
And it's an interesting way of, like, it's because farming can be an isolated job.
Oh, geez, yeah.
Right, we're back here again.
It's like granola.
We're going to talk about calves, right? It is like granola. We've just raised an interesting. We're going to talk about calves, but first of all, I looked at your meal there and I saw this black stuff inside in the meal, right? And I said, geez, I've never seen that in meal before, Kevin. Forgetting that you're an organic farm, explain to me about meal for organics. That it's not as.
So there's no cleaning, so it's that's off the combine. So you're going to have weeds, but it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, okay.
It's coming in. The calves are still going to eat it. It's treated here, so they're none of them viable. When they pass back out through the animal, they're not going to grow here.
Okay.
They're not viable here. So
not a limitation.
Sorry?
It's not a limitation.
No, because we treat it with prop corn. It dries out. It makes, like, none of that wheat will ever grow again. Peas, barley, triticale, oats, peas. Yeah, there's 5 or 6 different things in that.
Okay.
Along with the weeds.
All right. Well, it's a complete aside again. Okay? When you put someone like me and Kevin together, we'll go like this. Mike is trying to keep us on track here, right? But let's talk about calves. Talk about calf rearing. We've done it in our first video series. We talked about calf rearing. What's your protocols? Colostrum, feeding. What are the big challenges you see with calves?
So with us, I suppose we're different from a lot of farmers. The calves stay with the cow 48 hours.
Okay.
Generally most calves will suck. If they're not sucking, we'll put colostrum down the neck. But in general, they'll go up.
So you're not intervening with calves?
No, let nature take its course. Okay. And in general, nature will.
Is that a new thing you're doing, or has it been doing for a long time?
It's probably the last 2 years. We used to stomach tube the calves, and you catch up the cow, bring her. I suppose before. Sorry, I should start where we started. Calf with the cow for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Calf away into the house. That was more for Johne's disease prevention. Now we're completely clear because we had Johne's that time, but we're completely clear the last couple of tests on that. So we're gone to the road where we can leave the calves to the cow because that's where they pick up the Johne's. It's off the cow, licking the shit off the cow's leg and stuff like that when they're looking for a tit. So, excuse me. The calf stays with the cow for 40 hours. We're not seeing any ill effects of it. Okay. As regards to calves are healthy, we're getting touches of scour, but we get that. Anyway, your precision microbes is, as you see, I put up a video on TikTok, I know where you seen it a couple of weeks ago. Where the calf, 40 hours later, the calf went up and down the house. It was barely to stand when I took him out with a pen.
You're giving it in the milk as well, though,
We give it in the milk. So we have our gun hanging here. We'll show you in a second. We have a 30 ml gun. So we bring in the bucket of milk. You put if you're feeding 5 calves, you put 5 shots. If you're feeding 6 calves, you put 6, whichever amount.
You're not. A couple of farmers have said to me, actually, you're an influencer now, Kevin. You know that. They've copied your gun idea for dosing. We'll have a look at it in a minute. But okay, so that's unusual. That wouldn't work on some farms, but it's working well for you the 48 hours of the calves.
On a spring calving block, it won't. If you have a high amount of cows, you have to move them. And that's understood. I want to roll again.
And I like that attitude. But it is interesting when you actually look at perceptions of agriculture, and I did a bit of travelling and looking at this subject, the cow-calf separation thing is a huge bone of contention with the consumer. Now, from a calf perspective, right, it's
it's such a small challenge for the calf, right? Okay,
Yeah.
like from in the scheme of things of the calf and the farm, what they have to go through, but the perception is huge about it, right? So for some farms who remove it at 10 minutes, it's a really necessary thing to do, as you say, in the
Yeah,
spring,
yeah.
and they get the result from it, and that's what I would be advocating to a farmer
Yeah, yeah,
in a
of course.
spring-based system. But it's interesting again, without sharing ideas and trying different things, how are any of us going to get better or improve?
But that's just you've opened into the point of the cows separating. I do a lot of the ones here in the morning live. There could be 200 people looking.
So when you say live, you're on TikTok.
on TikTok live, you're separating the cow from the calves. The cows walk out the door, they F up the yard and don't look back.
Yeah. Don't look back in anger.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Oasis. Yeah. I'm more of a blur man. What do you call it?
They don't. Yeah, it's not a huge thing. I mean,
No.
there's some researchers going to say, well, we've looked at stress levels, we've looked at cortisol levels, but it's in the general scheme of things.
No, the cows go up the yard. They
they go on.
don't. And like I have people, you people in life. Like I tend not to block people. Like you vegans, everything in life. It doesn't bother me. If you have your opinion, you have your opinion. That's grand with me. But don't want.
This is what Kevin is doing, and this is what Kevin is.
Yes, exactly. This is what we do. I'm not saying it's right, wrong, or indifferent to you from your point of view, but this is what we're doing. I've no issue with doing what we're doing. There's no, like, then you come into the calf, it's showing the calves, and you're feeding them. There's no, it kind of changes the perspective of it. Then you're giving the microbes, you're giving stuff like that, you're trying to boost their health.
Yeah.
You are boosting their health, not trying, you are boosting their health. So you're showing all that end of it, that this is what we do when the cow comes away. And then you go up to the shed and you show the cow after she's milked and she's out standing at the barrier. And then they're all about, 2 or 3 days later, they said, you're on the live. The cow comes down the lane, I say the cow's coming down the lane.
Okay, I was going to talk to you about calves, but I'm actually going to focus in on TikTok and that story because it's becoming quite a big piece for you. So, like TikTok is another social media channel. It's a communication tool. We actually came across each other first on Twitter.
On Twitter,
Now
yeah.
is X and is a fairly toxic place. But
It is.
So talk to me about TikTok and. Okay, there's a couple of reasons I feel you're doing it, but I don't want to make assumptions. One is, you're on the farm, you're a social type of chap, right? So you're obviously engaging with people. I've come on to a few of them, right? You're inside in the digger and you're chatting away, and there's an old curse and there's an old this.
Oh, Jesus, surely is. Yeah. They don't be short.
So
depends on what I'm doing.
Yeah. So you're doing that, but I do feel like you're very genuinely, authentically passionate about farming.
Yeah.
You want to share the message of what farming is.
It is that I want to show people where the food comes from more.
Okay.
And what goes into producing, how much work goes into producing the food. When people complain about price,
Absolutely.
We're 7 days a week because people often say to me, "Geez, do you ever stop?" I said, "No, in the spring you don't." And I'm not even busy towards some farms. I said, "This is not towards some other farmers." I said, "We're not even busy in the spring. If you go onto a spring calving block, they're busy. You see farmers losing weight over the spring. I obviously don't. But you see lads losing weight over the spring. I said, that's just pure stress, pure workload, pure everything.
And it's a very big toll.
Yeah, massive toll on mental and physical, mentally and physically.
So that's an interesting, I want to go in on that. So where their food comes from, so I'm living in a town, my kids are not exposed to farms per se, would know a bit more than others, but you see that divide of the food goes on the table, cartons of food. It's like, as I said to someone recently, food keeps society stable.
Yeah.
We lose food supply, we lose a lot. So that, where their food comes from, and it is incredibly hard work, isn't it, to make food?
Oh, it is, yes.
So you show people...
7 days a week, 365 days a year.
But you show them, you don't glass it up.
No,
it's not like an ad for in between, a Love Island, or a beautiful ad where all the meat's laid out. This is what farming is about to you, isn't it?
Yeah, this is a show, calves, sick calves. If a calf gets sick, I go in and show the calf. They'll see the calf is poorly. Calf dies, the calf dies. Now, don't show that on camera if the calf is dead. I say the calf died.
Yeah.
I have no issue saying that. It happens. Whatever happens, happens. And like I'd be lambing sheep at home and you put out a dead lamb and you kind of go, that lam's dead, unfortunately. And you put them over and people go, oh, the poor lamb and all this, that's grand.
Yeah.
But we don't want to lose them. But from a farmer point of view, you're going to have losses. We know that. We're going to have losses. So, but from people that think everything is, it's like... it reminds me of Homer Simpson going through the meadows while the toilet flushing. But the toilets are cows kind of going through the meadow in that kind of way. Everybody's perspective of farming is that.
People will go onto YouTube now looking for this clip after
yeah, but it's that kind of, that's farming is all lovely. The weather's crap.
The weather's shit, yeah.
The calves, we still have to do all the work, regardless if we're in a t-shirt or in our flipping half dead or half sheep on you like. So you still have to go out and do the work like, there's no different. So it's to show people that end of it, just because it's a bank holiday Monday, I'm still in work here.
You're in the the teleporter.
Yeah, and it's not even, and there's someone in work. If I'm not here, there's someone here. The farm, it's still, all the animals have to be fed, the calves have to be fed, the cows have to be milked, it still has to be looked after. So I try to get across that more. It's to show people where the food comes from, but also to show people farming, because people actually love seeing farming. They love seeing farming.
I think they do. So generally your reaction is, as I said, you'll probably have people that don't, that's a very vocal minority don't like it. The reaction generally is very positive, isn't it? From what you're saying?
It is. As I said, I've no issue with I've no issue with people coming in and saying, what are you doing that for? I will explain what we're doing that for. And people come in and say, oh, the poor lad. Oh, there was one 2 weeks ago. Christ, I nearly lost my plot with her, but I didn't block her. I left her there. She's still there. But she was going about, how long? Oh, you're going to take the calf away from the cow now and kill it. I said, where in good God did you get that perspective? And I walked over in here. I go, there's one dead calf, there's 2 dead calves. All the calves,
there was live calves.
The calves were walking around the pen. And
sometimes you have to be very figurative, very descriptive with people because they take.
Yeah, because you literally have to go over and show them. No, you don't. You kill him. I said, no, we don't kill him. And plus, by law now, it's going to change, and we're not actually allowed. Don't even send them to the abattoir or anything that way. That's changes next year. You're not allowed to send them anymore.
The rules are changing.
Which I've never agreed with personally myself. Anyway, of doing that, I know it was certain circumstances people have to do it and everything, but I could never do it. No way. A bull calf here is treated the same as the best heifer calf in the place.
And are they kept on? Are they finished here? You're selling bull calves?
No, we sell on. So there's some of these are leaving here Sunday. Some of the bull calves. Or Angus, sorry, not bull calves. I'm looking at Angus. Some of the Angus calves. So then we keep our own replacements. So yeah, they're going to organic farms now at this stage. Majority of the calves are going to organic farms. We sold to other organic farms.
I want to look at your dosing gun here for President Michael. We'll have a quick chat about it, and then I suppose it looks such an interesting perspective, Kevin. Again, I feel like I'm very lucky to get to meet people like yourself with a different perspective, challenge the thinking. But one thing I really like is independent thoughts. Right? Yeah. You're not following. You're not a sheep. You're more like you won't describe yourself as a shepherd, but you're doing your own thing, and you're not afraid. And we talked about this last week in our last one with Derek. It was the mindset, progressive mindset, trying things out.
Oh yeah.
You said you tried the American regenerative agriculture here at the top of the farm, for example. Yeah. Tell people about that.
Where do you start? So the regenerative farming is the American model. I'll start with there because that's what we try to follow. So it's kind of, they leave for 90 days. So you graze a paddock, you kind of leave for 90 days.
So you're going
now
to
there's different, depends on time of year. So in the winter, we'd have a 110-day rotation here.
Yeah. So
we've 42 paddocks, it's kind of 3 days in each paddock, give or take. Now, I know it doesn't add up, but it's in around 110.
Okay.
With size of paddocks and things. So we try to go around the farm in 110 days. You're still out grazing the whole winter, effectively. Now, this spring has been a different story because it's just been so wet. So the American one pretty much is you graze it and you put in a large amount of animals in a very small area.
Okay.
So you're disturbing the soil and you've a lot of shit in one place.
Okay.
For the want of a better way of putting it.
Yeah, that's fine.
I suppose a lot of manure in one place. Sorry, that's a better way of putting it.
I call it shit as well. Too.
But so you're concentrating in a small area, but they're only in it for a short space of time. Okay. So with the cows, it suits perfect because you're going out for milking. Okay. So you can go into here generally there's 155 to 160 cows milking in general. And we can go into an acre. Now, most paddocks here are 3 acres. The majority of paddocks are 3 acres. So we go into an acre and a half for your first, or we might go into an acre for the day because it's shorter than the night time. But there's a lot of animals in your acre, you see.
Yeah.
And then they're doing soil disturbance, slight soil disturbance, so you're aerating the soil. But you're also, a lot of dung is being dispersed across that area.
Okay.
But so the regenerative is you're grazing a third, walking in a third, and leaving a third.
Okay. A third. Now, lads will say that's absolute stonewall mental. Okay.
And they're entitled to that, they want that. But the third they're eating, obviously gets out milk. The third they're walking in is food for the microbes in the soil. Okay. And the third is they're standing and still doing photosynthesis, so still putting out root exodus out through the soil back into your soil. So still feeding your soil down underneath as well.
Okay, so you've been to Gabe Brown's course, you've read the book, and you tried it on the top of the farm.
So we let it off for 90 days, so to try his model. Stuff was high. It was a massive.
Were any neighbours able to look in over the ditch and
see loads of them. Couldn't give a fiddlers about that. I wouldn't bother even this. We wouldn't be doing quarter after doing it if I cared what the neighbours thought. But limit the stuff was that height. We had put up a strip wire across. They had 120, 30 cows that stage, and they walked over the field, came back and started roaring at me. So I had to open the gate and let them out. At the Mullock, a group of Waylands, the poor devils, I still think about them. Mullock, a group of Waylands up across that over 2 weeks. Okay. Bull Waylands. And they kind of knocked it over and they did whatever, they put it down to the ground. But the sward was so open. The chicory and plantain had got massive,
Okay.
and the clover took off, but the grasses underneath weren't getting light. The grasses had died, more or less died out of it. It's still above. That was last October we grazed.
But you said, I think the interesting part of that story is you tried it.
Yeah, we tried it, but now we
And
don't know.
each to their own, and it's about finding. I think what you're doing here, and maybe I'm wrong, is you're experimenting. You're getting certain rules, be it from the training you're doing, the books you're reading, but you're applying them.
You're applying them, and then
You're
we
finding
will
what
scale
works.
it back the other way. So 90 days is too long. Right, we'll go back to, we'll start at the other end. So we're already going to 40 days in some paddocks, and that's absolutely fine. There's no issue with quality, with everything. Cows don't drop in milk, there's no difference in 40. Now we'll push it on another bit. We'll go to 45. So we leave a couple of paddocks now another 5 days, and you stay going with your 4 or 5 days. And myself, personally, I think the 45-day rotation will be the sweet spot here. That you will graze your third, walk in your third, and you'll still be feeding the soil.
Okay.
You're leaving your third, so you'll still be feeding the soil at 45 days with growing conditions here over summer.
Okay. This dosing gun is famous. It's precision microbes inside, and I tell people how you use it and what you've seen with microbes, Kevin, since you started using it.
Yeah, so we bring down the milk from the milking power above in churns, well, in drums and churns. One of our churns is frigged.
Right.
So we fill our bucket outside the door.
Yeah.
We come in, there's roughly 5 calves in each pen here.
Yeah.
So all you do is you put your bucket down, you put in your 5 shots, it's 30 ml each go, so each calf a go.
Yeah.
If you're 5 calves in a pen, if there's 2 calves in a pen, you put in 2, if there's 5, you put 5, so on. It's very, very simple, and we just refill, this is an old mineral can.
Yeah.
Just refill that then with a little funnel out of 20 litre
You're
drum.
not the first. You again. I said you're an influencer. A few farmers said to me, "I've watched Kevin O Hanlon and I've copied him."
Yeah, it's very handy.
Happy with what you've been a long-term user of microbes now. You even gave out to me last year because you said I was promoting 30 days. You said you should be promoting it for weaning. You're getting on well. You're happy with your calves.
We are very, very happy with the calves. Right, we have our few runts, as every farm has their few runts.
Yeah.
I'll do that back properly. As every farm has their few runts, but I don't think there's anything to do with them. They're just there at times. Different cows, different things. But yeah, 99% of you see, like even I put a video a while back at the heifers, the calf heifers that time. Like they were just they're complete different animals what we had a couple of years ago. Yeah. Just complete different animals.
Well, so you're kind of using it from a performance and as well as a health perspective.
Yeah. That's the long term. We're definitely seeing the benefit of long term. Their animals are getting stronger from the long term use.
Good, excellent. That's what we want to hear.
Better health.
Look, I think it's a good place to finish, Kevin. First of all, thank you for having me and Mike down. We really enjoyed it. When he's behind the camera, he's very focused, but I seen him smiling there at several of our conversations. It's a good sign. There's a realness to you that's don't ever change, and I don't think you will. The milk parlour is behind us. This is where food is produced. We talked about TikTok and the importance of telling the farm story. What does the future look like for Kevin and farming? Where are you going farming-wise? Or are you living day to day? Have you a plan? And I suppose where would you like to see farming and food production go on the bigger scale of things than maybe nationally? 2 questions.
I suppose ourselves, we're getting to where we want to be. That's what I said earlier. I know I did say it earlier, but we are getting to where we want to be as regards cows, cow numbers, soil health is improving. The numbers of calves, we're letting off calves sooner, we were holding a bit longer. So we're kind of getting to where we want to get, I suppose, and then breed a cow and everything that way is changing as well. For the future, I suppose we're still where we want to as regards crops, because we do our peas, oats, and barley, and we whole crop into pits, savage feeding in it. So that end of it's grand. We grow our own fodder beet. So we grow, the year before last we grew 22 tonnes to the acre.
Wow.
Organically, last year we grew 12. We put it in, it didn't see rain for 6 weeks, the poor plants.
Okay.
So that was just dismal last year. But still, we had 6 acres the first year, we had 11 acres last year, so that brought up our tonnage, which was grand for us. We were planning on selling some, but it wasn't there. At least we had enough for ourselves, so it didn't matter after that. We do it again this year. We keep trying, see what we can do with that. The crop end of it, where we want to be, as such, the different crops we want to grow. Our reseeding plan is working on the farm here. The cows are that'll take a couple of years to get to where we want to with the cows. We try to increase milk slightly because we're paid on milk going out the gate, not on fats and proteins. The layout of the farm, the infrastructure of the farm, that part is done. Everything is where we want to be that way. Regards me, hope I'll still be here.
it's not a bad aim, you know, to be around.
Just to be around.
To do it. But I do feel, Kevin, that you need to be stimulated as well. That maybe if it got too easy.
Yeah, no, I'd find something else. Not as in job, I'd find something else.
A new target to try.
Yeah, you're always, but then again, it's like I said earlier with the cows, you can always set targets with the cows because you can go, I want to introduce more milk, I want to get more protein, I want to get more, you have targets that way of, you can set yourself small goals. It doesn't have to be that, I want to get to 4% protein, which is not going to happen. Yeah. Right, we're at 3.56 protein, average for the year. Well, can I get that to 3.6? Over the next 2-3 years of breeding, no, it's not going to happen that quick because it takes a while for the cows to come into the herd and everything.
Yeah.
But over the next 2-3 generations, I should say.
Yeah.
So there's things that way, because like each generation is a kind of 2 years realistic because you're breeding the cow now for 2 years time. It's not for now, and it's even 3 years time because the heifer's not going to do. Never judge a heifer on the first lactation. I would never. We have heifers done 2,000 litres and they went to 7 in their second. So we never ever. A heifer won't leave the parlour because she's low production because she's still a heifer. Okay. So it's, I suppose you can set, I have to have targets as such. Now we try different plants, we'll try different, like I put in cup plant last year. Don't know if the freak wearers there or not, because we sowed in the back end, the place is full of weeds, I don't know which plant is the cup plant. So we're leaving that alone, see there's one plant happened to go up about 2 foot. But just now we only have an acre in, so we're just leaving that there, it's like the Wild West above. But I don't know what's what, because I can't find anywhere where I can see the cup plant that height.
Okay.
I can't get a picture of it, so I don't know which one. It might be there, it might be a field of weeds, I don't bloody know, but we'll leave it there and see. If it doesn't work, we'll get it again. It's €500 a kilo for the seed. So
right.
Now we didn't have to pay for it, it's on trial.
Okay.
So it's, like we're partners with a grass company as well, so we try different things, which helps as well because it gives you freedom to try different things.
Yeah, and it's a great attitude to have. I did meetings recently and I very much on the microbes and the value of the precision microbes in calves, but I was talking to young farmers and I said if there was 2 things they could focus on in the next 10 years, just my humble opinion, it was soil health and mindset.
Yeah.
Because soil health is where it all starts and mindset is huge. And I think today, certainly for me anyway, you embody just a good mindset, a proactive mindset, and you're actively involved in soil health. So I can think continued success. I can see that you could get bored and you're going to keep challenging yourself all day long. So, and look, for the TikTok people who are seeing you for, what is it, like 60 seconds? They've got a good view of you now for 30 minutes.
For a while, yes, exactly. I know, the camera does return to me sometimes. They do ask to see me head and odd time.
Kevin, thanks very much.
You're more than welcome.
Gentlemen, super. Who doesn't like an old head scratch? Look, it was a great day with Kevin O Hanlon. We had a fantastic conversation around soil health. We talked about calf health. It was great to see the precision microbes working well for him on calves. What's the story is about meeting our customers in farm, the equine industry and beyond, telling their stories to different people. You saw what he's doing through TikTok and influencing people around the production of food and where their food comes from. That is what What's the Story is about. Join us for the next video where I maybe get my head scratched now as well.
Say Tommy's regretting signing up for this now.
Today we're down in Nina to meet veterinarian Eamon O'Connell. We're going to spend the morning with Eamon, having a chat with him, doing some calls and a look at a modern veterinary practice to see what's happening.
But I suppose the argument that some people have is how sustainable is that for any person to stay going at consistently and constantly.